stay afloat. But somewhere deep inside, we know the current isn't taking us home. The screens all hum a tired tune. Numbers rise and fall like tides. They said the money's backed by faith, but faith in kings is just a lie. The weight of years we can't redeem, the paper walls of someone else's dream. We met through words across the wire, each one searching for a fire. No flags to wave, no names to boast, just drifting souls comparing ghosts. In late night chats and quiet threads, we stitched our doubts with hope instead. A spark in the static, a truth redefined. We started to see why they wanted us blind. We are the visionaries, hearts of stone and flame, carving freedom from the ruins. We'll never live the same. From shadowed screens to open skies, we'll teach the world to see through lies. We are the visionaries, and our voices will remain. We built small circles into towns where honesty could still be found. Trade by trade and word by word, our message spread, our truth was heard. No banker's hand, no master's chain, just labor's work and fairer gain. We plant these seeds in borrowed earth for children yet to find their worth. When all the false lights fade and fall, they'll walk in truth that's worth it all. We are the visionaries, unshaken and unbound. The system cracked beneath our sound. From humble hands the future grows. Through every trial the fire still glows. We are the visionaries, and the world is turning around. Now I see faces where names once were, no longer lost in the digital blur. The world we dream is breathing now. We made it real. We kept the vow.
Hello out there. We're on the air. Happy Friday. Why is it so quiet in here today, Arn? Need some light. Give us some light. Give us some sound. We are live, baby. Okay. Arn, we need some tunes here. What's happening? It's way too freaking quiet in here. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Good morning. This one's titled The 400-Year Test, Why Most Wealth Disappears. Why most wealth disappears, or as most people like to think of wealth. But people have a big misunderstanding and misconception around wealth, I think. So we're going to be talking about that today. Arnie was here. Hopefully he'll come back. But if not, that's up to him. Got a little bit of chest hair showing, I guess, today. A little bit of chest. Oh, no, microphone's in the way. Good. We got a full zip on. A rare full zip. But this is going to be a good one today. Man, this is everything. I don't know. Everything just seems to be lining up. You know what I mean? Anybody else have that feeling? I've had a couple people in the last, it's been more than a couple people, actually. Like, we'll say several. I don't want to overhype things here. But I've had several people reach out through DM, through email, through other ways, and tell me how much they've been enjoying the shows as of late. And I kind of thought about it. I was thinking, like, why would that be? Like, I don't feel any different. I don't feel like we're talking about different things. But the thing that I came to, the conclusion I came to, was that there's just a lot of things happening right now, and a lot of things line up with exactly what we've been talking about for the last 2 years, the last 514 streams. And so there's probably a sense of confidence or not certainty. I don't think certainty is the right word. Confidence, I think it is. I think it's confidence. And when you speak with more confidence and more certainty, but it's not certainty because nobody knows the future. I don't want to say certainty, but it's just some confirmation, I guess, some vindication. All the things we've been talking about are playing out right now. And it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. And we show up here every day at the same time. Or as Scotty says, roughly every time. Although I was early today. Shout out to me. I was 10 minutes early. I started the stream at 8:50 today. But it is Friday. We got our Winnie the Pooh mug. We got Tigger. We got Pooh. Got to be careful with the MacBook here. And on the other side is our guy Eeyore. But we like drinking from the Pooh side, the Tigger side. But how's everybody doing today? It's nice to see you. We got a good show in store. So anyways, we're going to be talking about scarcity today. Praetorian's here. Praetorian says, good morning, Jor and Visionaries. Happy Fats App Friday. God bless. God bless you, Praetorian. Thanks for being here today, buddy. It's good to see you. We got Kachuk in the chat. We got the captain in the chat. Shout out to Praetorian. Shout out to the captain. Shout out to Joshua. Shout out to Bad Gal B. Shout out to whoever else. Sin Diesel was in there. We had a good crew that actually hopped over and watched the Badlands Media yesterday for our Rumble raid. And I actually watched it for about half an hour. It's pretty interesting. They were talking about, I think it was a Netflix series called The Chosen or something. It was about Jesus anyways. So I was pretty interested. I think I'm going to watch that series. I've never even heard of it before, but they were talking about it and everybody was in the chat. Jenny was in there. Jenny was sending zaps. Sats and Sunsets was in there. So big shout out to everybody for helping me out there. I really do appreciate that. That meant the world to me, truly. Because I asked and I didn't really know what was going to happen, but you guys and girls showed up. So I appreciate it very much. Captain was in there. Mike is here. Michael Lou. Micah. Good morning. Salty Brewer. What's going on, Salty Brewer? 1943 Marco. Good morning to the rednecks over on Rumble. We got a good crew over there today. We got about, what are we looking like right now? We got people moving over, man. I'm trying to be a little bit nicer to my friends over on YouTube, but I hope you all move over there at some point. Slowly but surely. We got 30 people over there. We got 5 times the amount of people over in Rumble. That's where things are. That's where the action is. So shout out to the rednecks over on Rumble. I do appreciate you. We should tell Nostr that we're live, though. It'd be a good idea. I don't know why there's confetti going off in the Zap stream right now. Why? If you do want to join us on Rumble, you can just search 88 Sats. Very easy to do. Too easy. And it'll pop right up there. Join the rednecks. You might even get a redneck by the end of the day. All right, where's Nostr? Yesterday we went about 55 minutes without before getting to the mempool. So we got to change that today because Friday's got to be a little bit tighter for me. We got the weekly maple show. Maple show. Okay, let's see if we can. There we go. Oh, it said we got 15 sats over in Zapstream, but I think it's more than that. This must be lagging. We are live. Okay, so I shared the stream on Twitter today as well. So if you came here from Twitter, say hello. Say what's up. Okay, Nostr knows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Sharon B001 says, good morning. I love the Ducks. I like the Ducks too. I think that's going to stick around. Good way to start the show. The perfect way to start the show, some might even say. Ginger's here. Ginger, the man himself. Good to see you, Ginger. Great to see you. Sats and Sunsets, also. The castle maker, the smith. The man. Camille, North Star. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, fellas. What the duck? What the duck's going on? Tartafuna. Tartafuna. Good morning. Stay humble and stack sats. Amen to that. Stay humble, stack sats, stack skills, and stack smiles. Kev, 21 Sat Street is back, it looks like, back from Vegas. Okay, I got to give a shout out here to Kick. We don't get many comments from Kick, but we got Bozoing the Bozo. Great name. Says wealth disappears because people are lame. I would say people are uneducated, but some people are lame, no doubt about that. I'm not going to disagree with you. Good morning, Kick. We got a couple people coming in and out of Kick. Yesterday, we were actually the #1 show on Rumble for finance and crypto. Not my words, Rumble's words, but we were the #1 show, #1 live stream. So I'd say pretty proud of that. Not gonna lie, it's been a tough sled over on the Rumbles, but the people have showed up. The community has showed up, and it looks like we are. Let's see where we are right now. Oh no, we're second place. Matt Coors is #1. He's got 5,000 people watching. Like, this is, I mean, I'm not going to say anything here, but like, I don't know. I just don't understand it. You know what I mean? I just don't understand it. Like, there's Matt Coors here. He's doing live day trading. Payday Friday. I guess he's doing a giveaway. That's probably why there's people in there. But 4,000 people in there. And then we got, we're talking about a longer time frame. We're not trading anything here. And we got 31 people. I think that's just a very good representation of the world. That's a really good reflection of the world, is that people are trading. They're trying to game the system. They're trying to take shortcuts. They're very desperate. They want a lot of things very, very quickly. And that's an indication of where we are in society right now. Perfect representation right here. And then we got another stream over here called Digital Territory, thinking 400 years out. You know, these guys are thinking 400 seconds out, or maybe not even that. And we're thinking 400 years out. And that's the discrepancy there. So whatever, we're #2 today. We just need this stream to end so we can take over again. Hey, Matt, raid us over here. Bring some of those degens this way. We'll smarten them up a little bit. No, I get it, though. I do get it. I don't understand it. I don't resonate with it at all. But it is what it is. Hopefully it changes one day. That's my hope. Joshua, the king himself, says, good morning, Rumble. Like and comment, eh? Thank you, Joshua. Good to see you, man. Today we started with Rumble. Usually we start with Noster. Josh is usually over in Noster. So is Jake. And so is Sats and Sunsets. But today we're starting with Rumble. The rednecks getting some love today. Health is wealth. No doubt about that, man. There's, yeah. You know, yesterday, so what was yesterday? Yesterday was Thursday. So I had a pretty busy day yesterday. I wasted a lot of time yesterday. I really hate wasting time. But I had to go into town here to send some packages, to send some head covers for our King Golf Company. I had about 20 to send. And anyways, I was headed into town. I spent about 45 minutes. I had all the Shopify information, all the information from my email, and I wrote it all on my notepad that I always do. I usually bring the notepad to the post office, so it's very easy to sort things, to rewrite it onto a package. And of course, I forgot the notepad at home. But that's the very minor part of the story. So I was heading to town. My car, it just, something felt off. Something didn't feel right. I went to kind of accelerate around the curve, like coming out of the curve, and it didn't feel right. It felt wrong. And I was like, maybe it's just the road. Maybe it's just my imagination. So then I kind of tested it a little bit more, and it was a bad idea. So anyways, the car just started like kind of really jumpy, really choppy. You know, when you accelerate, I don't know if you've ever been in a car where that, but when you accelerate and it's just kind of like jerky, like it's trying to find a gear almost. So I was like, oh God. And the check engine light had been on for like the last 6 months. There's so much gravel around here that there's always dust and stuff that gets into the sensors and kind of messes with it. So check engine light was already on, but then it started flashing. And I was like, oh boy, never seen that before. Never seen a flashing check engine light. So, I mean, there's no cell service out here. I was on my way to town. I had to get to town. Otherwise, I was going to be walking and calling a tow truck, and I would have been there for 4 hours, and Arnie was at home. So I just kind of pushed through. I got into town. I wanted to put it in neutral and just kind of cruise into town, but I couldn't do that, unfortunately. But anyways, went to pull out of the post office, and it was just even worse. It was just like, so I took it to the auto body shop. It was only open for about half an hour yesterday before I got there, but that's where it stayed. So a couple things. The reason why I'm telling you this is because, number one, I got to kind of practice what I preach, in the sense of, you know, I got there safely. And that's kind of what reminded me of this. Is like, it could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. I got to town safely. Nothing fell apart. Nothing blew up. Nothing, you know, I didn't go into traffic or something like that. So it could have been much worse. The other part too is like, never worry too much. This is one of my, I wouldn't call principles, but yeah, I guess it would be. But like, never get too upset, or never worry too much, or spend too much time and energy worrying about something that money can fix. Right? Again, like, I got there safe. Nothing bad happened. Everything was good. So it's probably going to cost me some money. I have no idea how much, but it's just money. All right. Like, nobody died. Nobody got hurt. It's just money. So never worry too much about something that money can fix. And so when things like that happen, it's a good chance for me to actually practice that. And so that's what yesterday was. But the other thing too is, like, I don't want to get too personal with things here, but I was kind of stuck on my own yesterday. Arnie was at home by himself. And so the guy at the auto body shop, he's like, do you got a car? I'm like, no. He's like, well, do you need a car? I'm like, no, probably not. Like, I'm going to be at home tomorrow. We're going to have another vehicle back tomorrow. And he's like, well, no problem. I'll call my wife. So the guy from the auto body shop calls his wife, drives me all the way out here to my house, which is about, I don't know, let's say, we'll just say 10 minutes, 10 minutes from town. How do you beat that? That's the small town. Like, you know, it's impossible. You never know. You always think that people have your back. You always want to have that feeling, but you never really know. But then when things like that happen, you're like, okay, I remember why I live here now. Because you don't really see it every day, or I don't anyways, especially being at home, working from home. But yeah, pretty lucky, pretty fortunate. So just, yeah, I see some comments here. Could be the transmission, I should say. Sorry, YouTube. Could be the transmission. Misfire, could be sensors, could be spark plugs. I don't know what it is, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So I'm waiting for a call today to see what the damage is. Frick. But anyways, let's keep it rolling here. Buck 52, greetings from the Mile High City. Buck 52, where's the Mile High City? Is that Denver? Got an alien there, so that would check out. I didn't know you were in Colorado. Did I? Maybe I did. Oh no, we're pumping today. Shit. That goes against my my research here. Research shows that the first of every month usually dumps. Shit. And I actually held off a sizable purchase the other day because I was waiting for the first of the month. Well, that just goes to show, man. Don't try to predict the future because you're usually wrong. Shit. Anyways, good to see you, VHF. Did you get your raid credits? I think I did. When I looked at it last night, it said 5 out of 5. And so I think we're going to be good. I won't know for a couple days though, or a week. It takes some time for it to calculate and everything. So, but we did our best. That's all we can ask for. Miro, look at that nice logo. Miro, good morning. Be the change, BTC. Yes, be the change. That's what our mastermind group's named after. Be the change, BTC Mastermind. Be the change. Starts with you. It starts with you. All right, we got Duncan here. He says, good morning, Rumblings. Good morning, Duncan. Good to see you, buddy. Praetorian says, Jory, you deserve to be number one. Well, we got a long ways to go. There's this bird that keeps hanging on the ledge here, and he came right in front of me when I was getting the show set up today. Right here on the ledge. It's a little yellow bird. And he's off to the right now. But then I heard, right after I saw it, I heard this big thump. And then I was like, what the hell was that? And I was like, I was probably Lucky trying to get him. And I look out and Lucky's just right at the bottom of the ledge. So I think that guy, if he's not careful, he's going to end up in the jaws of Lucky here soon. But appreciate that, Praetorian. We only got 5.5 thousand people were short. We should raid that guy. No, he needs to raid us. But I didn't know that you could kind of categorize it like that. So we can do, we could raid in there and just tell him to buy Bitcoin. I mean, that's a good idea, Sharon. If he's still going, we'll do that today. Kev, let's go, Jory. Yeah, we're doing all right. I'm very happy with Rumble. Sketchucation, good morning. Rich. Kev Keith is here. Good morning, Jory, Arnie, Rumblers, and Rednecks. Stay humble, stack sats, and self-custody. It's simple as that. I got through that pretty good. Sometimes I trip up, but we're flowing today. We're in a flow state. 6'5 sats, Bob, Mark, and Stuart. Good morning, fellas. Good to see you this morning. What's Sats and Sunsets up to here? Oh, Kev Keith, recipient today. Oh, shit, I don't have my notepad. Oh, but I also want to read that, man. We got a lot to get through today. That's why I started the show early today. And here I am, dicking around. Here I am. Okay, let's... frick. Okay, so Sats and Sunsets. Hopefully this pen's going to work for me today. Congrats, Kev Keith. That a boy. Thank you, Sats and Sunsets. Bid Billy's here. Bid Billy says, always be stacking, always be munching. That's right. That's right. Good to see you, Bid Billy. Probably retest 60K a couple more times. Why do I bother? Buck52 says, birds aren't real. Birds aren't real. They are surveillance robots. Is there anybody else who feels that way? That seems kind of like a stretch to me. Because there's you've probably seen it. You've been around it probably, but driving home from the city the other day, I probably could have counted 100,000 birds. So if that's true, and where the birds were hanging out, I drove past a cemetery, and there was probably like 200 birds in the cemetery in a small town. So if birds truly are surveillance devices, they're really screwing up. They're really screwing up. They should be fired. Trump doesn't use Cold Card, only uses Passport Prime, USA made. Gotcha. Camille says, birds aren't real. Someone needs to watch less screens. I had a good video of, see if I can, I don't know, it might be hard to find. Had a really good video of Arnie rescuing a bird. If you saw the video, you wouldn't believe that birds were fake. And one died last year right in front of me here. We were trying to bring it back to life and it just died. So right in front of me, we were trying to revive it and it just passed away. It's kind of sad. Arnie and I spent a lot of time trying to bring it back to life. Oh, here it is right here. Let's check this out. This is good. This is good. Because a bird flew into the window and Arnie boy, just the nicest dog in the world. The nicest, gentlest dog in the world. Check out Arnie here. Young Arnie.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Nobody does that. How much do you pay for your apartment? Could I have a tour of it? That's not real. Bring back real videos like Arnie rescuing a wounded bird. Okay, I got to check on Noster here, man. Sorry, Noster. Frick. The fuel of the show. The fuel of the show. I forgot to check on you. Okay, we got some we got some fatties in here today. Some chunksters. We got some chunksters on Fat Zap Friday today. A little too fat, some might even say. David T with the first of the day says Fat Zap Friday, 4,200 units of sovereignty. Thank you, David T. It's good to see you, man. We were looking for you yesterday. Said, where's David T been? Sats and Sunset Zap 15 sats and said, ready to go for the quack of dawn. Ready to go at the quack of dawn. Nice one. That's for show 15 today. Actually, 515. But the 15th of Reason to Believe. I forgot to do the intro today for that. Oh, well. Joshua's over there, the king. He said, Arn, bark thrice for Fat Zap Friday, eh? Josh, every day's Fat Zap Friday for Josh. Every day that he's here anyways. That's why we call him the king. You don't earn the crown without some serious work and love. So thank you, Joshua, with the big one today. Josh Zap, King Zap. Duncan's here, the D and DCA. He said, good morning, visionaries. We got 3811 for our $3 worth of fiat. Thank you, Duncan. Good to see you, man. Jake's over there. Good morning, Jake. Scotty Boy says, this is the right place for Fat Zaps with a 99 Sad Zap. Yes, Scotty Boy. Joshua says, yeah, Jaker, can you send me a few pics of the blue maple hat to our signal thread? I may be wanting a new hat, eh? There you go. There you go. Scotty Boy says, surely it was less PIA, pain in the ass. Okay, what else we have here? Speaking of Ducks, bye-bye Oilers. I'm not an Oilers fan. I like the Oilers, but I'm not an Oilers fan. I'm not going to lie. My favorite team probably right now is the Anaheim Ducks. I love them. Not just because they're the Ducks either. I was watching the game last night and I was like, I like this team. I like their team. There's a guy on the Ducks named Seneca. His last name, it's not spelled like the philosopher Seneca, but it's pronounced like Seneca. And his number's 45. I almost ordered a jersey last night. I was like inches away from doing it, but I was like, Jor, we don't need it. We can still support. We can still feel it without actually, because what the hell am I going to do with the Anaheim Ducks jersey? A Seneca. I've never even seen him play a hockey game before, but I was like, love that last name. Love that number. Love the Ducks jersey. It's orange. Check this out. If somebody wants to, if somebody ever wants to send me a birthday gift, this is what you can get me. Right here. Check that out. How do I get there? I guess I can just zoom in. It's only $140 Canadian, I think. I was expecting like $400 or something. Must not be a real legitimate one, but who cares? Look at that. So I'm pretty sure, unless I misheard, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Seneca, just like the philosopher Seneca. 45, great number. And orange. Like, how freaking perfect is that? So that's I was millimeters. I said inches, but I was millimeters away from buying that last night. First time I heard of this guy, only watched him play one shift, and I was like, this is my guy. So there he is, Seneca. Okay, let's keep it rolling here. What else we got going on the Zap stream today? Moravian's back. Zapped 7460. That's an interesting one. He must have I'm guessing that was clearing out his wallet. 7460. Thank you, Moravian. Moravian's been on fire, man. And after the show yesterday, when we were watching we were doing the raid, Josh said Moravian sent a big zap, bigger than Josh. And that's true. But Josh also bought a membership yesterday. So that's why Josh got the crown yesterday. But I did add Moravian to the special shout out because he deserves it. He's been here a lot lately, and he's been very big support. Scotty Boy said, Sharon, the shaft hit 1,000 views. Really? Wow. What's next says, I'd rather be in the group of 31. Yeah, me too, man. That's what we're talking about. We got 16 people over in Nostr right now. We got more people in Nostr than we do on YouTube. You have no idea how freaking... 65 Sats zapped a big one today for Fat Zap Friday. 16,500 units of freedom. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark, Bob, and Stewart. Steward. Thank you, fellas, very much. Josh says, flashing orange check engine light isn't that detrimental. Okay. Red or flashing red check engine light, pull over and shut it on down. Okay, well, yeah, I think it was just orange. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a difference. Thankfully, I've never seen the red one, but are all cars universal in that way? But I couldn't have driven much further, man. Like, I really don't think I would have made it back home in that car. And then what have I done with it? So I had to take it there. It was the thing to do. Joker says, just want to drop in and say hello. Can't stay. Have a good one and keep fucking going, everyone. Cheers, Joker. Cheers to you, man. Josh says, is Jerry here this morning? I got to get on his Bitcoiners for Freedom app. Jerry, are you here? He might be listening in the background. Sometimes he does that although he's kind of busy this week. He's got the Packer family there. Shout out to the Packer family. Shout out to Jerry. Conrad with a Conrad's up 963 says, good to be here. Good morning, Conrad. Thank you, buddy. Sats and Sunsets zapped 5 4s. Wow, that's in the mix. That's in the mix for a lot of things right now. Biggest zap of the month. I know we're only day one, but Sats and Sunsets got the zap of the month. What did we call that yesterday? The man of the month. Or a woman, but that's it. The MOM, man of month. Congrats, Sats and Sunsets. You're the mom. How we got to change that. I guess it'd be MOTM. But big one there. Flasher test didn't work. No flasher. So we got between, I think it was 65, which is what Mark had, and 44, which is what Sats and Sunsets had. So somewhere there is the flasher. I guess 50, and it seems to be true so far. But big thank you, Sats and Sunsets. Wow, that's a big one. I'm gonna guess it's 50. Josh said the song Like Suicide, closing song from Soundgarden Super Unknown, was written by Chris Cornell after witnessing a bird hit his house window and pass on. Really? Yeah, it's kind of sad, honestly. I know I shouldn't really care too much about frickin' birds, but it was sad, man. We tried to bring it back to life, and it just wasn't having it. But Josh says, shit, Sats and Sunsets coming in hot. Yes. Ricky's here. Ricky with a 420. Nice number there, man. Says, let's go. Scotty boy. Scotty with a fatty. I need a new piece of paper here, I think, folks. A 9999. Quadruple niner. Thank you, Scotty boy. Says, finally some love for Noster. Sorry, buddy. You know I love Noster, man. You know I love Noster. David T said, just got back from Vegas also. Fun meeting Bitcoiner friends and met a lot of new ones. Nice. That's awesome, David. That is awesome. Raven says, Jory, yep, forgot to add some sats to my wallet now. Need to wait 2 hours to add some. But it means I'll be in a good shape for Maple Bitcoin stream. Oh, cheers, Moravian. You're the man. Thank you. Okay. Oh, you know what? You know what's kind of messing me up here? I was going to say, how in the hell are we 50 minutes into it today without even checking the mempool? But I mean, we have kind of been effing around a little bit here, but it's because the ducks add like 10 or 15 minutes to the stream. So anyways, here we go. We got the mempool today. The block height, the time in Bitcoin is 947,437, which means there's been 947,000 blocks. Sorry, 947,437 blocks since January the 3rd. Jan 3, 2009, 2009. And you can go back and you can look at every single one of them. Every 947,437 blocks, you can go back and click into them. Wow. SEC pool. Look at that heater. Wow. So that's in a very short amount of time there. SEC pool got 6, 9, 12, probably 13-ish Bitcoin. 4 blocks in a row. I haven't seen that too many times. SEC pool absolutely buzzing. They got paid too. Like they got 5 million sats for this one. Some good payments in there. Good transaction fees. Wow. Shout out to the Security and Exchanges Commission pool. That's impressive. Difficulty adjustment looks like it's going to be tonight, 2 a.m. I don't know if this is Eastern Standard Time or what that is, but in 83 blocks, we're 63 blocks behind. So miners are going to be happy. A little bit easier for them to hit a block and a little more rewards when they hit a block or if they're pool mining. So that's the mempool. A lot of people don't care about it. I care about it. It's the heartbeat of Bitcoin. It's what keeps this train moving. Okay, so there we go. We got Foundry at the last one. The block height 947,437. We are on Epoch 5. Epoch V. V for Vendetta. V for Visionaries. V for Ducks Fly Together. And V for Epoch 5. Subsidy is 3.125 Bitcoin every single block. That's what the miners get paid. Plus the transaction fees. In this case was about 3 million sats for a total reward of 3.1551 for Foundry. And the total supply, 20.02 million Bitcoin have been mined. which means the 0.98 million Bitcoin remain. Visually, it looks like that. That's how many Bitcoin we have left for the next 114 years. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. If the average person could see that, if the average person could understand that, we'd be in a much different spot right now. But it takes time. It takes time. And we have a lot of patience. We are a very patient bunch. I think that's the one thing that Bitcoiners have in common. Well, most Bitcoiners. Not, keep in mind here, there's a difference between people who own Bitcoin and Bitcoiners. Bitcoiners have a lot of patience. I'd say that's one of our greatest traits. We are, the robins are trying to scare the little birds away. Get out of here, robins. Freaking robins piss me off, man. I had a robin here one summer. I don't know if I've talked about this before. Whoa, look at this. There's a little bird right here that's been here. See it? Gone. But I had a robin here, just an absolute dumbass. Absolute dumbass robin. He was, he had a nest here, I guess, somewhere on the deck or somewhere around here. And he would just go all around the house. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't want to explain too much about the house. But he would go all around the house and he'd sit on the ledge, on the deck. And he'd see himself in the reflection of the window. And he would just, every minute, I swear to God, for like 2 weeks, he'd crash into the window. He'd fly into the window. Maybe not every minute, every 5 minutes, because he'd have to like regain himself and realize that he just flew into a window. But the worst part, that was fine. The windows were a mess. They were all covered in his feathers and dirt and everything, saliva. But the worst part was that every time he would do it, he'd have to like build himself up, right? Like he was scared to do it because he thought he was attacking another robin. And he'd shit himself. He'd shit himself every time that he flew into the window because he was scared. And so the windows were a mess. The ledges were all full of robin shit. And it was just an absolute disaster. Thank God Arnie wasn't here because it would have been, I just would have had to kill it within like an hour. But man, I'll never forget that. I think that was my first summer out here. And I was like, holy, first spring out here actually, because I moved here in July. But anyways, exchange rate today, we're going up, it looks like, for F's sakes. The sats, you got $1, one fiat dollar, 1 unit of illusion, 1 unit of trash, 1 unit of the worst money in human history. You can trade one of those units for 1,278 units of perfection, of energy, of scarcity, of the best money humans have ever created. So just think about that. You can trade 1 unit of the worst money that we've ever had for 1,278 units of the best money that we've ever had. That's a pretty good trade. That's a pretty good trade. We call that the deal of a lifetime around here. So that's where we're at. And we should actually, Scotty's here today, so we should check on our gold prediction. Wow, we're doing pretty good, Scotty boy. We called the bottom right here. We said 12 pet rocks for 1 town in cyberspace. So it's got to be the bottom. And it was. So far, we turned out to be correct. And right now, you can still trade 17 pet rocks for a town or a city in cyberspace. Okay, we're going to get right into her here today because I got some things I want to talk about, some really interesting stuff. Okay, what's going on here in Rumble? VHF says, I'm an OG conspiracy theorist and birds being surveillance might be the dumber than flat earth. Yeah, I don't know about flat earth either. We're probably triggering a lot of keywords here that's going to get us even more like I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to think it. Thank you, YouTube. God bless you, YouTube. God bless you, YouTube. Paulo's here. Paulo from Living in the Future, LITF, says, good morning. The conference is over. That's why we're pumping. All the swamp creatures went back to DC. Heavy words there. Heavy words from Paulo. Polly's here. We got Paulo. We got Polly. Head voice says BT soldiers at arms. Good morning, Polly. Good to see you, man. Okay, we got the number one sales rep apparently here from Passport. Flat Earth and birds aren't real. Are psyops designed to make conspiracy theorists look crazy? I do agree with that. With Flat Earth for sure. Mosquitoes aren't real either. Holy man. What kind of a crowd do we have here? I like it though. I like the crowd. It's my kind of crowd. Get a personalized Jor 88 orange Ducks jersey. That would be sick. That would be disgusting. That'd be so sick and disgusting. I would probably vomit when I got it. I might actually do that. Not today though. Not while sats are this cheap. Yeah, this bird's up to something here. I don't know if it's building a nest, but it's hanging around. That is a sick jersey. Sharon B, I love the shaft. She's talking about the song. She's talking about Scotty's song here. Antonis Explorers. Good morning. Nice profile pic there. Paulo says, did you know that you can receive Bitcoin tips over Rumble? Just tried it out. Let me know if you received it. Cool, man. I have received a couple. I think Letha sent some. We had a random guy in here for like 2 days. He sent some. I forget what his name was, but he actually helped me. It's funny. He's like, Jory, you need to sign up for the creator program. You're doing it wrong. I'm like, what the hell do you know? Anyways, turned out he was correct. So anyways, I want to share something real quick with you guys and girls yesterday yesterday we talked about being 0.02% better every month. And so, I like kind of sharing things, as much as I can, as much as I feel comfortable with. But so ever since I started this creator program here on Rumble, I've been kind of tracking it. It's only been 2 months, but our metrics for April, we had 66 unique people in the live chat, which was up from 50 in March. We had over 1,000 hours streamed. 1,000 hours compared to 670 in April. So those are kind of like the two main metrics that I'm looking at, the unique people in the chat and the hours streamed. So I'd say that in a month, we definitely outperformed our 0.02%. Is it sustainable? I don't know. But I was pretty proud of that. So big shout out to the rednecks over in Rumble. So let's see if this showed up here, Paul. What did you send? Do you know? It hasn't shown up yet, but we'll keep an eye on it. Because if you sent it on Bitcoin, it usually takes a little bit of time. That is Bry Guy. That was his name. Bry Guy B Money. He sent $2 worth of Tether Gold. Bry Guy B Money. But he said, Jory, you got to sign up for the creator program. And he was right. Be kind. Don't get left behind. Be kind, VHF. Praetorian's telling you. There are worse currency than the dollar, sadly. Which ones? I'm talking like, I guess you're right. There's definitely Canadian dollars worse than the US dollar. That's a fair point. I was talking about like fiat currencies overall as being the worst money in human history, but you're right. There's more than this is a freaking good song. God, this is a good song. Morgan. Look at Arnie. I like the Android that they changed the screensaver every time you open it up. Chasing you, Morgan Wallen, one of his best, I'd say. Oh, cool, Paul. That's a great number, man. Thank you. That's on chain too. kind of worrisome that, some people, depending on how that balance goes through the years, people be able to see it, but whatever. It is what it is. I appreciate that, Paul. Thank you, man. Very much. Oh, Josh says honor Arnie with the 88 Ducks jersey. I like that idea. Because I don't think there's anything like more lame. I was going to use a different word there, but I'm trying to keep it PG here. I always forget that we went like 6 months just being able to say whatever we wanted, like in terms of words, but we can't really do that anymore, unfortunately. But I think it's pretty lame when grown men wear a jersey of somebody else. You know what I mean? It's okay if you're like a kid or a teenager. If the guys who are playing are like younger than or older than you, right? Like when I was a kid, I would have like a Wayne Gretzky jersey or a Mario Lemieux jersey or a Teemu Selanne jersey. But I was like 10 and those guys were like 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. No, there wasn't too many 45-year-olds. Maybe Chris Chelios and Gordie Howe. But anyways, like if you're a kid and you're looking up to these guys, that's a little bit different. But if you're a grown man and you're like 30 years old or 40 years old or even worse, 50 years old, and you're wearing somebody else's last name on your back, like that's peak cuck, in my opinion. Like, I don't know if there's anything more embarrassing than that, honestly. And the jerseys sell like crazy, like millions of jerseys all around the world, different sports teams. It's wild. It's wild. But I do like the idea of putting Arnie on the back with 88. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be a really cool idea. Maybe when Bitcoin hits like 1 million, I'll do that. Andre invests and stacks sats, the man himself. Zap to 5139. Thank you, man. Thank you, Andre. Appreciate that. I was actually watching your video yesterday. I forgot to leave a comment, but I did like it. Talking about strategy. So big shout out to our guy, Andre. Thank you, man. Josh said the chancellor wants to ban Bitcoin ATMs. I know. I know. Josh says, I don't know, dude. I still wear my Lemieux jersey to this day. Honoring a legend is why I do it. That's fair. But Lemieux's older than you. Mario's got to be older than you, right? He's probably like 55. I don't think he'd be 60 yet. Josh is probably like, I don't know how old Josh is, like 40. But yeah, I mean, he's older than you. That's fair. I would say as long as they're older than you. But like when a 50-year-old's wearing like a 20-year-old's jersey, that's peak pathetic, in my opinion. Beta behavior. That's exactly what it is. Beta behavior. That's exactly what it is. You're telling the world and you're telling yourself that there's somebody out there more important than you, important enough that you put their name on your back. That's embarrassing. Oh, Josh said he's 49. Wow. I wouldn't have guessed that. I probably would have guessed low 40s. But yeah, well, how old's Mario, Josh? Mario's got to be like 55, 60-ish. Nah, maybe not. He's got to be 50. He's got to be at least 50. Paulie says peak. Peak cuck. I'm using that. Better lose my Iron Maiden Eddie t-shirt. Ah, that's a little different too, because Eddie'd be older than you, Paulie, right? That's different too. You're not putting his like last name on your back. I don't know. I heard it one day like 10 years ago. Chris D'Elia. I know he's been he's been kind of he likes young girls. Not like young, but illegal, I'd say. But man, he's a funny dude. And he had a skit one time where he said basically if you're wearing somebody else's jersey, then they get to have sex with you. And I never forgot that. And it really changed the way I look at things now. So if you're wearing somebody else's, I would preface that with, if they're older than you, then you're showing respect. But if they're younger than you, then they get to have sex with you. I don't know. We're off the rails today a little bit here. Wanted to try it out. We'll keep using lighting. Yeah, no worries. That's I appreciate it. That's a big one, actually. I forgot to write that down. 6969 from Paulo. LITF, living in the future. Paulo the man. Been around for a while. Great member of the community, Paulo. So there, appreciate it. Let's see if it showed up yet, Paulo. It's loading. We're loading. Not yet. But it's on chain, right? So it's gotta show up there first. It's gotta be confirmed. Eatable Zebras here. Running late, but good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Good morning, Stripes. Look at this. Ginger. He says, a goal to report. Good man. I love this kind of stuff. You know, this is a pretty underrated part of being in the Visionaries community, is we have a thread every Sunday or every second Sunday, whenever I remember. We have a weekly wins where people can go in there and share something that they did during the week that was a win, big or small, doesn't matter. The point is we're stacking wins. We're getting into a habit of winning, repetition of winning. And even if we lose somewhere along the way, you know, we focus on the wins, because when you focus on the wins, then you have more confidence. And when you have more confidence, you're more valuable to the world. And when you're more valuable to the world, you can convert that value into Satoshis. And then you win. You radiate a different energy when you're confident. And when you're thinking about your wins, playing the highlight reels, the good things that you did, it sets you in the right state of mind. So Ginger says, finally got my wife to get and use ShakePay. Took her fiat Visa away, been a week now, and she likes it. Got Roundup turned on too. Good job, man. That's awesome. You know, if you're in Canada and you're not using ShakePay to pay for everything in your life, I think you're really messing up. I've been using ShakePay for probably 3 years now, and I've stacked 7 figures sats just by using it for everyday purchases like gas, groceries. I use it for our purchases for King Golf. But yeah, if you're not using that, man, and like Ginger said here, use the roundup feature, and basically it rounds up in Bitcoin. So let's say that I bought a sub, which I did the other day. I bought a sub from Subway. I like to do it once in a while. I know it's bad for me, but God, they taste good. So let's say it was $18 and I have a $5 roundup on ShakePay. So it would charge me 18 plus 5, $23. And I would pay for the sub and I would buy $5 worth of Bitcoin. And you would be absolutely amazed of how much that's added up through the years. So if you're in Canada and you haven't been using ShakePay for everything that you do and everything that you buy, here you go. Check it out. I think you get like $20 worth of free Bitcoin too for using this link. So you got to use the link. You got to, I think you got to buy like $100 worth of Bitcoin. But yeah, I pretty much buy all my Bitcoin at Bitcoin Well. But I pay for everything with ShakePay. And I also do our daily buys with ShakePay because you can keep a little bit of money in there. So that's what I'd recommend for anybody in Canada. Get ShakePay. Use it, basically fund it every week. So send like $200 or whatever you think your budget is, $300, $500, depending on how you live. Send that every Monday. And then you use it to pay for things. So you go to the grocery store, you use ShakePay Visa. You get sats back. I think you get 2% sats back for the first like $5,000 worth of purchases. And then you go to get gas. Everything that you're paying for, you use your ShakePay Visa. So you get sats back instead of like airline miles and bullshit credit card points. And then whatever you have left over, I usually buy like $5 to $10 per day using ShakePay because you have some money in there. That's what we use for our daily smash buys. I use ShakePay for that. And then for like my bigger purchases plus my recurring buy, I use Bitcoin Well for that because I think the spread's a little bit better and it goes straight to your self-custody, your cold storage. So there, use that link if you're in Canada. Use that link. You get $25 worth of free Bitcoin, I believe, for using it. You just got to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. But really good. And you can use the roundup feature so you can stack more kind of behind the scenes without you even knowing. And then there's they also have loans now. I don't think it's officially rolled out, but they're going to have like a lending service like Strike or Ledden in ShakePay. So definitely, if you're in Canada, consider checking out ShakePay. It will be worth your while. So way to go, Ginger. That's awesome, man. Did I share those links? Oh yeah, and if you're watching this later, I'll have the link in the pinned comments. Run the SAT selector, said American ShakePay. I believe that would be fold. So there's actually a lot of conversation in our chat today about River, fold. What was the other one? Gemini card. But kind of the consensus within the group was that most people use River to buy. So if you're in America, this is going to be a little more applicable to you. Most people are using River to buy, and you can actually leave fiat in there and earn interest. ShakePay does that too, actually. I forgot to mention that. You could deposit $500 and you actually earn interest on your deposit in there, which is, you should, but you haven't always. But River, you can have cash in there. You can also set up like supercharged, recurring buys, but most people are buying Bitcoin using River, and then they're using something like Fold or Gemini to actually pay for their purchases, just like I was talking about with ShakePay. So I don't have a Fold. I don't have a Fold referral. So whoever in Rumble shares their Fold referral, I'll put it in the chat for just in case there's any Americans listening to this. I'll try to put it in the pinned comments too after. But here's River. River's actually better. You can get $100 worth of free Bitcoin using this link, up to $100. So every time you buy Bitcoin, I think you get up to $100 worth of free Bitcoin with that link. Oh, I should be sharing these with Nostr too. Eatable Zebra. Sats and Sunsets right behind them. Right behind them. I'll put both in there. How about that? Because I want to, Sats and Sunsets is a massive supporter of this channel. And, but rules are rules. I said first, so I'll put both in there and then people can choose. I won't say who it's from or which link it is, but I'll put both in there. So there's the River. Where's the, here we go. I'll put this in the chat. So again, if you're in America, here's a Fold. Here's the Fold. We got two options there. Do a eeny, meeny, miny, mo if you are watching this. And I'll have both in the pinned comments too. And I'll share that with, well, it's already in Rumble. And I'll share it with our friends on Zapstream too. Zapstream, let me know if you want the ShakePay link. I'll throw it in there if you do. Okay, wow, we're buzzing here. We're buzzing here. Okay, so let's get to her. Oh, this is a good freaking song too. A little Church. Well, Eric Church. Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything because I've been known to miss zaps, not because of me, but because of Zapstream doesn't always pull them through here. So I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody, not missing any thank yous. Okay, we got Andre there. Freaking Rizful, man. It's slow. You're slowing me down here. You're slowing my progress. Okay, let's watch this. This is an important one here. Like I said, kind of at the start of the show today, I've just been so not even surprised. Like I never really had any doubt that it was going to play out this way. I never did. I never had any sort of doubt that this was going to happen. You listen to Bitcoiners and they're like, yeah, there's some days where I'm just really not sure. You know, I have some second thoughts about things. I second guess. And it's like, you should have that. You should have those feelings about anything. You should never be 100% certain about, okay, what the fuck is this bird doing? I'm going to have to go out there and raise some hell right away. But anyways, it's kind of cool right now just because everything that we've been talking about. I talk about Bitcoin differently, I think, than the majority of people on YouTube. I think most people would agree with that. Good or bad. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people love it. But it's different. It's a different way to look at things. And some of it's a little bit far-fetched. Some of it's a little bit crazy. Some of it's a little bit conspiracy-minded, you might say. But it's just crazy to me that all of it's like slowly playing out here. It's just like one touch point after another. One thing. And it's crazy to me. So this was another one here. This was another one that really lined up with what we've been talking about. So let me bring this up. We're going to start with this video here. It's Saylor. Saylor, I posted a video yesterday talking about STRC and had a bunch of, I basically called STR holders stupid, which they was taken out of context, which I did to myself because I shared a clip of calling STRC holders stupid, but I didn't really mean it that way. Like I basically said, if it was almost like if you're holding stretch when you're like 20, 30, 40 years old for like the long term, that's very stupid because Bitcoin is what you want to hold. Bitcoin has no ceiling on it. Stretch has 11.5% ceiling on it. Bitcoin MSTR, no ceiling on it. So just like Saylor said, and I thought I said that in the video too, but I guess maybe people don't hear everything that I say. But I said, like, if you got a 10-year time frame, you should not be holding STRC right now. Even 5 years, I'd say. Bitcoin is what you want. Bitcoin in self-custody gives you no ceiling, and it gives you unlimited freedom. STR has a ceiling on it, and you have no freedom with it at all. You're trusting somebody else so they actually have the Bitcoin so they can fulfill their promises. And you're trusting the system to give you permission. So Bitcoin and cold storage, you don't have to trust anybody. You don't need anybody's permission. STRC, you have to trust Saylor that he has the Bitcoin so he can fulfill promises. And you have to ask the system's permission to use it, to withdraw it. So people kind of took it the wrong way. I don't think that everybody who holds stretch is stupid. It would have been very clear if somebody watched the live stream that that's not what I was saying. Because it makes a ton of sense. It makes a ton of sense. Even Forrest was in the chat here. He's like, I'm thinking about using STRC for next year's taxes. I'm like, okay, that makes perfect sense to me. Because you have a short-term fixed date in the future where you need it to be available to you. You can't afford for it to go down. So in that situation, yes, STR makes perfect sense. There's people watching this stream right now who are in a situation where they can't afford for their free cash flow to go down in value. They have maybe a lot of Bitcoin, maybe they have some real estate, maybe some other investments. STR makes sense for certain people. But if you're like trying to get rich using STRC, you're an idiot. It is enticing. It's like 11%. You start doing some math. You're like, okay, well, I could put it in the stock market. I could put it in stretch. Obviously, stretch makes more sense. But they're not seeing the bigger picture here. They're not really seeing what's playing out here. So anyways, Saylor, again, very, very polarizing figure around Bitcoin. People, just like Trump almost, people either absolutely love him or they despise him. There's no real in between. So what I try to do with these shows and my approach to things is like try to find some common ground, try to be somewhere in the middle. It doesn't have to be hate or love. You can love everybody and you can see everybody's perspective. So me personally, I do love Saylor. I absolutely love Saylor. I think that he's done more for Bitcoin than probably anybody else, truly. And if you argue that, I'd like to know who else has, especially lately, especially like with all that's rolled out here. But I don't like that I have to trust him. I don't like that aspect of it. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's actually has very good intentions for the world. I do. Based on his body language, based on all of the hours that I've seen him speak, I truly believe that he wants a better world. And he thinks that Bitcoin is the answer to that. So again, people can hate him, people can love him, it doesn't matter. But what he's doing right now is very impressive. And what he's talking about here today is very in line with what we've been talking about. So let's bring up this video here. It's the title or the clip. It's only going to be about 2 or 3 minutes, but he's talking about Bitcoin like real estate, Bitcoin like digital territory, Bitcoin comparing it to real estate in the sense that that's what's stood the test of time. It hasn't been buildings, it hasn't been currencies, it hasn't been investments or like equity. It's been real estate. And so for the next 400, 500, 1,000 years, I think Bitcoin is going to be the new version of that because all the land's kind of bought up. You know, one thing I always talk about is just like we're at the point right now where the early discoverers of land. Well, I don't want to get too like political or because I've had some nasty comments after talking about this in the past. But let's just say that the newly discovered land, when people found it, civilization found it, when we started to build things, you could buy like a whole township for $5. A township. And that's where we are right now with Bitcoin. Bitcoin township. Same thing. That's the era that we're in. Nobody thinks to buy a town these days because the supply is gone, because the demand has bought it all up. So nobody's buying townships anymore. And that's just like where we are with Bitcoin right now. So what happened? As the supply went down, as the demand went up, as more and more people showed up to that region, prices went up. And what happens when prices go up? When you can't afford a township anymore, what do? This is a good question to ask right now. When you can't afford a township, when people can't afford a township anymore, what do? You divide it. So you divide a township into sections of land. So then instead of townships, people are now buying sections of land. And I think that Satoshis, are the equivalent of sections of land right now, which is kind of crazy to say, but that's, again, when you're looking out 100 years, 200 years, 500 years, it's hard to see right now, but historically, that's how things have played out. So then what happens when people can't afford a section of land anymore? What do? You divide it again. You have half sections. You have quarter sections. What happens when people can't afford a quarter section of land anymore? You divide it again. You have acres. What happens when people can't afford an acre of land anymore? You have lots. And that's where we are. And that's where we're going in Bitcoin. And the cool thing about Bitcoin is that we can divide it infinitely. So for the people out there who say Bitcoin is bad because there's a fixed supply, we won't have enough for everybody, that's bullshit. Because we can always subdivide, and we're going to subdivide. We already have subdivided. 10 years ago, you could buy a t-shirt for 10 Bitcoin. Today, you buy a t-shirt for 50,000 sats. So it's the same thing that's playing out right now. It's just in the digital world. And the reason why Bitcoin is going to work for this is because Bitcoin takes energy from the physical world and brings it into the digital world. That's why Bitcoin wins. That's why crypto doesn't win. One of the reasons, I guess you'd say. But Bitcoin takes physical energy from the physical space and brings it to the digital space. And I think that most people here would agree that the digital space is growing, booming. A lot of people spend their entire life in the digital space. So that's where we are right now. We're at the Bitcoin township. It's kind of almost too late to buy a township, but you can still buy sections of land, and we call them Satoshis. So let's listen to Saylor here talk about Bitcoin as real estate.
A beachfront property. And what you're going to find is that does not get cheaper. If affluent, intelligent, cultured people want it, it's going to get more expensive. It's what I call the Bernard Arnault test, right? If you want to preserve your wealth, you buy assets that someone richer than you, more cultured than you, more intelligent than you will want to buy from you in a decade.
Okay, so lesson 1, understand currency debasement. Lesson 2, understand assets and scarcity. And then you're ready.
It's a start. Are we talking about generalized advice
Yeah, because look, I think
for the person struggling to navigate the winds of change in the modern world?
yeah, because when you try and approach somebody to explain Bitcoin, if you start with Bitcoin, I think it's a challenge. Sometimes if it had various bits of information they've seen or read and they've got their lines ready. But I think if you start with inflation and debasement and then understanding scarcity, then you can get to assets. And I generalize assets and then why Bitcoin is the best.
Well, here's a simple thought experiment. If the year 1600 and you have the choice of owning a square mile in the middle of London, all the land, or owning any building constructed in the past decade in London, or owning the finest luxury goods manufactured in a shop in London in the year 1600, or owning anything consumable, or owning any vehicle operating on, on the land, in the sea, or in the sky in the year 1600, or owning all of the British, pounds, or a bunch of British pounds or currency or paper money in 1600, which of those things do you think would still be valuable in the year 2026?
The land.
The land.
Of course, the land.
The only thing, right? The richest family in the UK, the wealthy, they own the land. And why? Because the other stuff was obsolesced by technology. You can produce infinite copper tokens, and the ships rot, and the buildings decay. The land is good for quite a while, right? And so scarce desirable property means literally that. You want to own the land in the middle of London or the land in Manhattan. You don't want to own the land in Greenland or Antarctica. You don't want to own a bunch of Rocky Mountains. Why? It's property. It's just not desirable, and it's not necessarily scarce. There's a lot of it.
Wow. What when I heard that last night, I was like, man, that couldn't possibly tie any more perfectly into what we've been talking about, where we're going next year with the new digital homestead course. And it's just like, man, that makes so much sense to me. And you don't really think about it that way, because again, we're really much what's right in front of us. That's what we pay the most attention to. So of course you see like a Gucci bag that's valued at like $100,000. You're like, oh, that's got to be worth something one day. Will it though? Because it has to withstand the test of time. Unless you have it like in a vacuum sealed safe that no light can get into, nobody's ever used it. Maybe it'll have some value in the future. That's a luxury good. But like, how many purses have you seen from the 400 years ago that have lasted this long? So he talked about like obsolescent of, and then you think of like buildings and what can happen to buildings between hurricanes and floods and fires and all this stuff. 400 years is a long time. But what he said there was that mile of land in London, that's gone up incredibly, significantly, like probably almost to the fact where you can't even measure it. But it's still there, and it's still appreciating in value. And so you want to own the scarce, desirable thing, land in this case. So that's why I think I've been saying this for the longest time now, is that everybody thinks of Bitcoin like digital gold. It's not. Number one, gold's a joke compared to Bitcoin. For anybody who spent more than 10 hours in Bitcoin, gold's a joke. It's a pet rock. It's a pet shiny rock that humans just kind of see as valuable. But the other part of that too is like, there's a 2% inflation rate on gold. Every year they're finding more gold. And as technology gets better, they're going to find more gold. If it was out of a centralized controlled system, we would probably have way more gold. If people actually wanted gold, if there was more demand for gold, we could have way more gold. So I hate that comparison of like Bitcoin being digital gold. It's much more like farmland, because farmland to me is scarce, desirable, because you can grow things on it. You can produce things on it. And if you look at some of the farmland around this area here, man, in the last 10, 20, 30 years, it's gone up faster than anything else. It might have even outperformed Bitcoin, honestly, because it's scarce, it's desirable, and you cannot print farmland. No matter how good technology gets, you can't make more farmland. No matter how good technology gets, you can't create more land in the middle of London or in Manhattan or Miami Beach, as he always talks about there. So Bitcoin is the closest, or sorry, land, not all land, not in Greenland, not in Russia, not all Russia, I guess I should say. Antarctica, good luck, number one, good luck getting there. It's a whole nother rabbit hole. But not all land is created equal. So even Bitcoin saying Bitcoin and land are the closest comparable, that's also not true. Bitcoin and scarce, desirable, useful land, that's the closest thing that we have to Bitcoin. And there's only so much of it. And so when you buy Bitcoin and you send it to your cold storage wallet, you get it off out of the exchanges, out of the hands of somebody else and into cold storage. That's basically like you planting a flag in that digital territory and saying, this is mine now. Come and get it. And that's the thing too. If you consider like hundreds of years ago, where people were looking for land to start growing on and building on, you could have been like the richest guy. You could have been the most forward-thinking guy, and you could have been claiming up all this land and putting your flag in it until Genghis Khan comes along and kills you and takes your land, because land is physical. It can be stolen from you. It's very easy to see the use case in land because you can see it. Just like gold, people say, oh, I can put it in my hand, so it must be valuable. It's got some weight to it. It must be valuable. But that's also its detriment. Somebody comes along with a bigger gun and a bigger army. They steal your land. They steal your gold. They cannot steal your Bitcoin. So it's the closest comparison we have, but Bitcoin is far superior to it, in my opinion. Because of that reason, plus you can hop on a plane with 12 words in your head and take everything that you have inside of your head. When you land, you have everything. You can't do that with land. Or if you want to buy something from somebody on the other part of the world, you can send them Bitcoin. You don't need to know their name. You don't need to know where they live. As long as you have their BC1 receive address, you can send that value anywhere in the world. That's valuable, very valuable. And we obviously know that both land and Bitcoin cannot be debased, cannot be recreated or faked. So it's the same kind of thing in that way. And there's only so much land, or so much scarce land, and there's only so much Bitcoin. And we are running out of Bitcoin fast. So, point of this is to say that if you kind of subscribe to the same theory, if you're at the point in Bitcoin where you understand how valuable, not how valuable this Bitcoin is, but valuable these Satoshis are, these sections of digital property. And the cool thing is you can buy these. It's like buying land all around the world and kind of bringing it all together and forming your own country. Like that's how I think about UTXOs. Every time I take a UTXO or I take Bitcoin and I send it to my cold storage, that's a new plot of land for me. And because land is non-fungible, where they're all different, land here is different than Antarctica. You can't really bring them together like that. They're not as useful like that. But you can do that with UTXOs because Bitcoin is fungible. 1 sat equals 1 sat. There's no difference. So you can take all your UTXOs or your plots of digital territory, you bring them together, and that's your country. That's your country, digital territory in cyberspace. And again, we're moving into a digital world. That's what has value now. So number one, you have to understand how valuable these Satoshis are, these sections of land, this digital territory. And you have to understand what they're going to be worth in 100 years from now. And then you're going to spend all of your time learning how to get more of them and protect what you have. And that's it. Really, there's not too many things financially, economically speaking, that matter more than that. And so next week here, we're going to be starting a course. It's called the Digital Homestead. It looks at this exact thing here. And it looks at Bitcoin as if it were digital territory and how to secure it, how to protect it, how to do it privately, what tools that you need to use. So this is the course. And I truly cannot wait to get this started. So we got the land grant there. You already have the land grant. You bought the Bitcoin. But we're going to talk about it in the same sense of like thinking about your UTXOs like plots of land. We're going to map it all out. We're going to see where you are right now. Take inventory of where you're at right now and where you want to go to, and then make a plan, make a strategy, make a blueprint for it. And then we got the foundation here, the bedrock, like learning what makes this thing so valuable. We talked about a bunch now, but there's a million other things to get into. Because when you have that conviction, you're much less emotional. You don't care when it goes up because you know what you're holding. You don't care when a flash crashes down. You're not going to panic because you know what you're holding. So it's very important. And most Bitcoin courses kind of focus on the technical side of things, like what is it all, how is it verifiable? What's the ledger? How are Bitcoin mined? We're going to spend some time talking about that, but only the most important parts. And then how to do it privately, how to buy it privately, how to connect to a node to make sure that all your transactions are private. The almanac, just like farmers used to have a notepad. They weren't putting their things on a Word document or in the cloud or trusting a third party. They had it in their almanac. And that's how you should think about your Bitcoin too. The Forge, what kind of tools are we using? We have no sponsors. We have no outside influences for this course. So we're going to talk about the best tools for the job. So you don't have to waste your time. You don't waste a bunch of sats playing around with things. You're going to figure out which tools you need to use. And then it leads to the silo, which is a multi-sig. So like we talked about there, Genghis Khan comes around. If you have your Bitcoin in a multi-sig with geographically dispersed private keys, he can blow up your house, he can burn it down, he can kill you, but he can't get your Bitcoin if it's secured properly. And that's the real unlock here in Bitcoin. That's what really gives you the freedom aspect of Bitcoin. And then the harvest. How do you make more of it? Because farmers don't just buy land and sit on it for 20 years and sell it. They don't flip their land. They want to produce things. They want to contribute. They want to provide. And so they can accumulate more land. They're not looking at the price of their land every lunch hour and hoping it goes up. They're actually hoping that land around them comes up for sale so they can expand their operations. Because again, land is non-fungible. A piece of land for a farmer 100 miles away isn't very useful. But one right next to their section of land is very useful. But with Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. There's no locations. They're all fungible. One sat, one Bitcoin, they're the same. No matter who's holding it, where they are, it's the same. So this is going to be a very important part of it, the harvest, how to make more money, how to create more income, create more value, turn that value into more Bitcoin. Because again, we want to protect what we have, but we also want to increase. We want to expand our operations. And then just like a farmer thinks about it, how am I going to pass this land down to my kids in the most efficient way? It's a little bit different with land because somebody else holds the title. And so they can do it much easier. Like if they don't have a plan in place, it's going to go through the estate, it's going to go through the courts, but the kids will eventually get the land, hopefully, or somebody will. But with Bitcoin, it's different. If you're holding your keys and your family, your spouse, your kids don't know how to access that, you don't want your whole life's work to be lost because you failed to take action and set up some sort of a succession plan, inheritance plan for them. So this course starts next week. And I'm actually going to do the first one here on YouTube. It's going to be kind of like a webinar-ish. And I was going to do an actual webinar, but that would require me to collect all your emails. And, that's not how I roll, I guess you'd say. So there's a link to it. If you haven't joined yet, strongly consider it. It's going to be the best investment you make. And if you're not satisfied with it, I have a 100% guarantee, 100% sats back guarantee. So if you go through the course and you're like, Jorah, that was a waste of time, waste of money, no questions asked, I'll give you 100% refund in Bitcoin. That's how confident in the discrepancy between what you're paying to be there and the value that you're going to receive from that course. So a big shout out to Saylor. Great analogy there. I absolutely love thinking about Bitcoin the exact same way. And hopefully you'll join us. You can join for free now using that link if you can get through the 3 questions. But it's the premium members who are going to be part of the course. So you get access to the course. You get access to all the other stuff. There's about 500 Bitcoin videos in there. So if you really want to learn, if you're serious about this stuff, I don't think there's a better place on the internet to learn and to connect with other people. And last thing I'll say is that we are going to set up a little signal group. So for all the people who are going through this course together, it's once per week, same time every week. And we're going to have a little signal chat so people can kind of keep up to date, informed, ask questions, discuss ideas, thoughts. It'll be very, very powerful. And it's the first time doing it. In 2027, when we do the course again, it's probably going to be double, triple, or more cost-wise. So Check it out. School.com/88 sats. We'd love to have you in there. I would love to have you in there. Okay, I'm way behind. Oh, not bad, actually. Not bad. Okay, I'm going to check on Rumble or on Zapstream. Zapstream, what's going on over there? We have 15 people. Oh, yeah, okay, I just need to refresh. Shadrach says Canadian property outside Alberta is going to F and zero. I don't know about that. I think the land in the West Coast, certain parts of the West Coast, certain parts of the East Coast are going to be very valuable. Some parts of maybe like Northern Ontario will be very valuable. I'd say Alberta, Saskatchewan, certain parts of Manitoba will be very valuable. I think it's kind of silly to say that it'll be going to zero. Because there's a lot of resources here in Canada. And energy is going to be a big part of our future. Josh says, since real estate seems to be propping up the country, they won't let everyone lose their homes en masse. Other provinces could be less desirable to live in, but here in Liberal Ontario, those property values will remain sky high relative to Alberta. It really depends. I think that the real estate in the cities are going to go down because nobody needs cities anymore. Shadrach says, same as UK, the economy is toast, so there's nothing left but property. See, the CAD is printing to infinity. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. What did I miss here? I missed quite a bit. Oh, this is a frickin' tune. Divine Sorrow, Wyclef John and Avicii. Divine Sorrow. This is a banger. Wake Arnie up. God, I love Avicii. Sorry, Arnie. I don't even know where he is. Snoozing somewhere, probably. What a frickin' day. What a day to be alive. Okay. We're still talking about jerseys up here. Celebrities and athletes do not care about you. Why should you care about them? I think a lot less people care about celebrities these days. That's for sure. And athletes too. Still going to wear the Brindamore jersey. Rob Brindamore. Wow. What team? Flyers or Canes? Or was he with the Pens too? I feel like he started with the Penguins. Rob Brindamore. Well, he'd be older than you, Stripes, I'm thinking. How do you use the Passport Prime? I'm not sure what, I don't know what we're talking about here, boys. Didn't know about the possible ATM ban. I better load up. Yeah, no doubt, Camille. You better. I better fricking do that too. It'll probably take a while, but yeah, that's what the government here is talking about. They're getting rid of all the Bitcoin ATMs. And I made a post yesterday saying, hey, Canada, nothing can stop what's coming. You can take the ATMs all you want, but that's not going to fix your country. Not going to stop Bitcoin. Shake Squad is pretty mint too. Yeah, I forgot about that. Just you and your wife. But yeah, I mean, I've had a Shake Squad for a while. I don't even want to know how much money I've made from that Shake Squad. We've had that filled for like 2 years now. I just don't know how much the other people are using it though, because it kind of relies on the other people to use their Shake Pay card for buying things. Okay. What else did I miss here? Will there be a review of the Bitcoin Las Vegas convention? I wasn't there. Look at this. Bampot Pirate. Olaf from Bitcoin Jungle. Costa Rica. Cheers. Okay, I got to have some... BitBilly says he uses strikes, then send to a Blockstream Jade. BitBilly, you should try out... you should just give River a shot. It's always a good idea to have a couple different exchanges kind of in your toolbox anyways, just in case yours ever goes down when you need it. Oh. But today we got lemonade salt. Shout out to Element. They are definitely not a sponsor, although I would let Element sponsor me. The only sponsors I'd be good with having are like non-Bitcoin sponsors, because I don't want to have any sort of influence of what I'm talking about here. I want to recommend the best and only the best. I think it's a damn shame that you have so many big channels talking about like the Jade or the Ledger or the Bitbox. It's like, no, those aren't. Meanwhile, they're using a cold card themselves. Oh, no pens. Okay. Man, I must have been thinking about somebody else. The Flyers, the Canes, and the Blues. The Blues must have been later in his career or what? I don't remember him with the Blues. But BitBill, yeah, give River a shot. Just see how it is. Like, you don't have to commit to it. You don't have to marry them. But I think you'd like River, BitBilly. And again, worst case, you buy a little bit and then you don't use them anymore, but you keep them in your back pocket for a rainy day when things aren't working. Use that 11% from STRC to DCA into Bitcoin every month. It's a good call. Maulers is building great things. Yeah, I agree. Saylor is a stud. Okay, Sats and Sunsets, have a good Friday, man. Thanks for the big zap. I think somebody's going to be... I think people are going to have a hard time beating you today for the most outstanding Bitcoiner. I don't know if you're already gone, but appreciate you, man. I like the beachfront property, farmland, gold, and Bitcoin. There you go. There you go. Just sent. Lock. What's that bit, Billy? Just sent lock. I missed a couple here. We got 18 and a 45 from our guy Sin Diesel. Good morning, Sin. And we got 1845. He says fat zap for dad ass. 1845. Who's that? That's Sin? Fat Zap Friday. So he sent an 18 and a 45 and then an 1845. Thank you, Sin. Bit Billy said, I've learned so much along the way. I think Celsius taught me my best lesson yet. Sending Mashinsky a thank you letter in prison. Yeah, what a shit show. Banana Chan, what's going on here? Steak and Shake Bitcoin Burger. Santino, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Brindamore from the Canes. He's older than me. Got to practice with him in the team while I was on the young or the state youth team. Cool. Yeah, Brindamore seems like a beauty. I feel like he'd be a good guy to have a beer with. He's still coaching, right? He was coaching Carolina for a while. Paul, you just strike River and Bitcoin well, the best three. Would anyone be kind enough to explain a little about Fold to Praetorian? So Praetorian, I'm sure you've heard me talk about ShakePay before, in the sense of like you can get a Visa within the app with ShakePay, and then you can pay for things with that. I think you have to prepay it though. I'm pretty sure Fold's the same, where you basically send a payment to fiat to Fold, and then you can use that to pay for things. And actually Fold's better because Fold has different incentives. If you spend at different restaurants, you get like a bonus built on top of it. I think they have little games built into the Fold app. But I mean, the best thing to do, Praetorian, would probably just use one of these links and try it out. There's one from Sats and Sunsets. There's one from Stripes, and just see what you think about it yourself. Because I've never used it. I'm in Canada here. We got ShakePay. That's good. Oh my God, that's good. River's solid. If you keep a little emergency fund, River pays interest in Bitcoin. Hallelujah. What a freaking, what a concept. Okay, Paul, let's see if this Bitcoin came through. Had to have by now. It did. Wow, that's kind of cool. We got exactly $44.40 worth of Bitcoin in there. Shout out to Sats and Sunsets. Four fours there. Just like Sats and Sunsets. And it came through 6969. Thank you, Paulo. To the tip jar, the Rumble tip jar. And I saw something else happen here. Jenny Legendary shows up. She said, good morning. Is this the right place to hack Jor's wallet? Jenny, good morning to you. Jenny with a $5 fiat zap. Thank you, Jenny. The golden whale herself. Didn't want to download an app blind. Yeah. No, it's legit. There's a lot of people that use the Fold app and have a lot of good things to say about it. Okay. Well, should we do a raid? I don't have much else to talk about today. There was another video I wanted to watch, but we don't really have time today. Praetorian or Zebra says, Praetorian, it's a debit card you load up. Yeah, okay. And get Bitcoin rewards back on stuff like gas, groceries, restaurants. Also has a roundup feature that rounds up small bits of change to purchase Bitcoin. There you go. So it's very similar to ShakePay. Pretty much a carbon copy by the sounds of it. Okay, well, we got 41 frickin' people over in Rumble, the rednecks. And we got 20 thumbs up over there. By the way, one of the metrics we use is unique chatters. So if you've been watching on Rumble and just kind of lurking in the background, make sure you say hello. You can count as a unique chatter on the metrics. We're trying to get about 2% better every month. So last month we shattered it. And I think we can do even better in May. So if you're watching on Rumble but haven't said good morning, just say hello. Say hello. Shadrach said, I paid my mortgage with River today. So I don't know. I don't think you can do that with ShakePay, but you can do that with Bitcoin Well. Pay your bills. Pretty sure you can do that with Strike. You can do it with River by the sounds of it. So there you go. Let's I hate wrapping up the show when we have peak viewership in here. We got a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people on Rumble, and a lot of people on Nostr. But I got a busy day here, and that was kind of what I wanted to get through today. So with that in mind, I'm just going to go through this quickly here. And the Maple show starts in about 2 hours from now. The Maple Bitcoin Friday show. Man, what a song again. Goo Goo Dolls. Slide. What a song. Slide. Goo Goo Dolls is extremely underrated. Okay, so we had Andre. Andre, I got to give an espresso shot for. Shout out to Andre. The man. Scotty Boy with a double shot. We got that one on here. Sats and Sunsets testing out the flashers. Didn't work, but earned him the MOB, I think, for the day so far. Mark with a triple shot. We're going to call that a triple shot from Mark. Triple shot. Not that we need it on Friday because we're usually freaking buzzing as we are, but Moravian with a big one. Duncan with the DCA. Joshua with the King's app. David T. Oh, I missed one here. Shit. It says, good morning, Jor. Happy Friday with a little embarrassed or what would you call it? Blushing face. Good morning, Jor. Happy Friday. I'm going to guess that was either from Letha or Maria. So thank you, Letha or Maria. That's who I'm going to guess that was. I was going to guess Praetorian too, but Praetorian usually ends with kind regards. And he doesn't use a blushing face. So I'm going to assume that was Letha or Maria. And hopefully I'm not wrong about that because that would be awkward. Okay, what's my Rumble? That's a good question. Let me find it for you here. Right here. You just got to search 88 sats. Very easy to find. 88 sats. We got 453 followers over there. It's pretty good. All things considered. We just started going pretty heavy on there about 6 months ago. But there it is, Shadrach. We'd love to have you there. We do this show every day, 10 a.m. Eastern, roughly. And we just hang out, talk about sometimes a little bit of news, but usually not. There you go. If anybody else has Ginger on Signal and you want to be part of their Shake Squad, reach out to Mark or Ginger. It sounds like they got some space in there. Folsom Huddle, good morning. I was looking at that Aven credit card. No, use Actually, Captain, good call. Don't sleep on Cash App. I'm a big fan of Dorsey. Cash App, there's a lot of good options. U.S. West Coasters are on the first cup of coffee this time of day. Yeah, I'm on number 2. I'm on number 88 sats. Yeah, search that on Rumble or use that link. I'm on my electrolytes for the day now. Hell Stew, is that you, Shadrach? Oh, I thought so, Maria. Look at that. Maria, 25 hundo. I guessed Maria or Letha. Maria, 2,500 on Rumble. Good morning, Maria. Were you in Zapstream? I didn't see you in there today. Hopefully I didn't miss you. Shadrach says Aven looks good too. Is this Shadrach or are these two different people? I don't know. We're in Canada. I'm in the prairies. Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith with a frog. Interesting. There's a couple of really great Bitcoiners in Edmonton in the Visionaries community. Couple of great people in Alberta. Got some great people on the West Coast. We got some great people in Alberta. We got not many people from my province here. There's a couple. There's a couple who said that they're from Manitoba. Not many from Saskatchewan either. There's a couple guys. Actually, speaking of that, I got to email my buddy from Saskatchewan back today. I'm going to do that right now. Wants to do some work together. Not many in Saskatchewan, and then a ton in Ontario. And then we don't really have too much east of Ontario either, I don't think. Ginger's east. Ginger's probably the furthest east that we have here, right, Ginger? Heck yeah, we got some legends from Alberta. I might be in Alberta soon too. We'll see. We'll see how things shake out with the separation. If Alberta manages to separate, I'm going to be buying some property there, even if I have to sell some Bitcoin. So we'll see. Anyways, I'm going to cut off the YouTubes right now. We got a little bit more stuff to do here, but we'll keep it more private. So wherever you're watching from, if you enjoyed it today, it helps a little bit. I'm not going to tell you what to do. And every time somebody tells me to do something, I don't do it. So just if you're feeling good, if you want some good karma today. And same kind of thing here. If you're not a member of the Visionaries and you want to give some support, if you've been learning from the channel or enjoying the channel, you can send to Arnie Boy there. And consider joining us over in the Rumbles. Consider joining the real ones, the rednecks, over on Rumble. Just search 88 sats. Oh, yeah, you're right. Bond's in Quebec. You're right. But I think Ginger's east of that. I could be wrong. Sharon B says, Captain, what do you mean don't sleep on Cash App? He means don't overlook it. He likes them. Okay, so that's what we got today, folks. That's what we got here. And I see a little coffee cup there from Praetorian. Let's see what he meant by that. Praetorian, there it is. 5,000 shot of espresso. He said, thank you for answering my question, regardless of how outlandish they are. No, man. You got the best questions. You and me think very alike. Kind regards, Praetorian. Thank you, buddy. So we got Praetorian. Okay, we're going to update these checklists here. So everybody on YouTube, check us out. Maple Bitcoin starting in just over 2 hours from now. And show up Monday right here. We'd love to have you over there. Somebody might even buy you a membership if you're lucky. But we'll see. Join the rednecks. So thanks, YouTube. God bless. We'll talk to you soon.